Recorded live at VCAM Studio in Burlington, Vermont. The Gloved Fox. In tonight's episode, The Hooded Monk. Performed by the BTV Radio Players. Starring Amy Mills as Gracie Grant, the Gloved Fox. And Aaron Reel as Brother Andre and your announcer. Also starring Rebecca Reel as Maddie Arbogast. John Van Luling as Bastian Gadbois as Bella Loomis, William Bay, and Bob. Mick Ferreira as Max Polidori and Christopher, and John Donahue as Fergus McMillan and Mr. Brandon. Sound effects designed and performed by Lara Keenan, Toby McNutt, and Sue Wilson. Music by Kevin MacLeod. The Gloved Fox is written and directed by Andrew J. Rash. Trained in the arts of combat and illusion by the mystic monks of Pauha Marpa, socialite Gracie Grant tackles Midnight City's criminal element as a costumed crusader of justice. Though her methods put her at odds with the law, she has allies in her clandestine skulk, Fergus McMillan and Jenny Golden, the only people who know her secret. These are the ongoing heroic exploits of the Vulpine Venturer, the vengeful vixen, that wily wonder, the Gloved Fox. We begin our tale for once far outside Midnight City, in an isolated monastery. Happiness comes to the man that has given his heart to Jesus. He is content with his peace in his heart. All he wants, all I want, is for you to embrace that love. May you all find that peace and contentment. Amen. And that concludes today's sermon. Yes.
Bless me, Father, for I have sinned. It's been 5 years since my last confession. We're in for a long night.
I shall be right with you, gentlemen. Allow me to turn off my radio equipment.
Noisy equipment you got there.
Yes. Now, if you have come to unburden your souls, I can summon Father Benedict, the House Superior.
Nah, it's not necessary. You go by Andre Marichal, yeah?
I am Brother Andre.
It's not what I asked. 'Cause no, you ain't. Sit down. Christopher, the door.
What is the meaning of this?
Louis Gardinier. Name ring a bell, brother?
Bonjour, Bella. It's been a long time.
20 years. We almost gave up looking for you. But not me. Not completely. I was one of the very few guys who knew your face and your voice.
Yes.
I got a long memory.
Like an elephant. Boss.
Let me do the talking, Christopher. So we lose our top hitman. He just up and drops his
The
contracts.
fatal Frenchie.
He knows what we call him, dummy. So yeah, poof, gone without a trace. We got guys looking all over. Excuse me. But nobody can find him.
And he means nobody.
The slippery son of a gun, he only did business face to face with certain guys. Guys like me. Makes it pretty easy to drop off the planet.
Not completely.
No. Because one day, years later, I'm listening to the radio and on comes this Brother Andre religious show. I thought I was telling stories about I thought I was hearing things. But no, there was the fatal Frenchie telling stories about the apostles on the air.
And here you are.
And here
I am.
Impressive.
Well, I didn't know it was you for sure. but I had to check it out. Jeez, Christopher, get yourself a glass of water, will you? Great, you got me doing it.
You got any water?
No. So now what, Bella? Did you come here to kill me?
I sure as heck didn't come to try to recruit some friar way over his shelf life. Look, I hate to shoot somebody in the house of God, but nobody leaves the business, Louis. Not without the kind of retirement package that comes from a barrel of this here gun.
Are you curious why I joined the monastery?
It's a cover. Come on, you're still nothing but a common hood. The robe doesn't change.
Perhaps. I have taught the world of gods to atone for my sins. Bella, I knew that someday one of you would find me.
You gassed us.
Yes. Isaiah 13:11. And I will punish the world for their evil, and the wicked for their iniquity. And I will cause the arrogance of the proud to cease. I will lay low the haughtiness and the ruthless.
How?
The gas nozzles were built into the radio set, waiting for you. The poison is derived from the actonium plant, otherwise known as wolfsbane or monk's hood, one of the deadliest natural poisons. Continuous exposure and God's will have rendered me immune.
We'll get
You have taught me a lesson, Bella. Men like you are still out there, prospering through wicked deeds committed on the weak and defenseless. Your arrival is a sign from God. It is not enough to do good. I must eradicate evil. I preyed upon your kind before, and now I shall do it again as a servant of divine justice. Requiescant in pace. We shall return to our program shortly, but first, a word from our sponsor. Is your relationship in need of some counseling?
You don't care about me anymore.
And you nag me all the time, and I'm tired of your mother always popping in unannounced.
She's lonely. What's wrong with her coming over once in a while?
Once in a while, she's here every weekend. She talks to every radio program that I listen to. Can I even get any peace and quiet in my own home?
Oh, maybe we should get some couples counseling. Who could that be?
It's Barney Rubble and Strife niggling you.
What did he say?
It's your mother-in-law, driving your 6s and 7s.
I think he's talking to us.
Oh, you're fighting over grafting bees and honey.
Grafting bees? I can't understand anything coming out of his mouth.
I think he's giving us advice.
Well, stum up, mic up, and Bob's your uncle.
Bob your uncle relationship counseling. If you can't understand each other, then hire someone no one can understand.
I'm not sure I understand the logic of that.
Well, it makes sense to me.
Oh, you would say that.
Oh, what? Now what did I do?
Bob's your uncle relationship counseling. For when you really act off at your lover and you just want to have a schnog. That means kiss.
Oh, good. Because I have a headache.
Yeah, you always have a headache.
I do not.
Yes,
Bob's your uncle relationship counseling. Works for everyone.
So now it's my fault.
And now, we return to our story. Midnight City, months later. A lecture is concluding at the university, delivered by one of its esteemed emeriti. As I have endeavored to show, religion does more than simply comfort or bring peace to one's soul. It can have the global impact of repelling a civilization compromised by troubled times. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Andre. What a pleasure it is to see him at the lectern again, huh? You may listen to the brother's radio program Sunday evenings on Midnight's own WMN AM, a show he is currently promoting all along the East Coast. Right now, please enjoy our refreshments provided by the Palace Restaurant.
Mattie Arbogast, it's been a dog's age. What brings you here?
Family business. I'm surprised to find the illustrious Gracie Grant still operating out of this burg.
It was inevitable. The entire time I spent away from midnight, I could not shake the longing for home.
I guess I never developed the same attachment to this city. It was just where I went to boarding school. Not that those days weren't fun times.
We got into our share of trouble. You helped me through a very difficult time in my life.
Likewise, Gracie. So what did you think of the lecture this Brother Andre gave?
Theology is not really my sphere, but I think he drew some intriguing conclusions about the nature of morality and self-determinism. Honestly, I had a small hope his talk would involve botany.
Botany?
Ah, Miss Grant, there you are. You remember Brother Andre?
Certainly, Rector Bay. But I knew him as Professor Maréchal at the time. Good evening, brother.
It is always pleasant to see an old pupil, Miss Grant. Especially one of my shining stars.
You're too kind. Brother, Rector, this is an old friend of mine, Maddie
Brother, I wasn't aware you had taught here. How long ago was that?
I gave up my tenure a decade ago, miss.
What a shame it was when he decided to devote himself fully to the ascetic life. He was perhaps the best theology professor we ever had.
I dare say the best botany professor as well.
So you're not an alumnus then, Miss Arb, is it?
No, I'm just familiar with Brother Andre's work.
I see.
Yes, I've just been obsessed since the first moment I heard your voice on the radio.
Excuse me, Gracie. I have other guests I must attend to. Brother, Miss Arb.
Rector?
Good to see you, William.
Can I get you a cup of punch, Brother Andre?
No, thank you. I regret that I do not have more time to catch up, Miss Grant.
Some other time. I do hope you found time for your other interests.
We make time for such things, don't we?
We do. Take care of yourself, Professor.
And you, Miss Grant. Miss Mattie, is it?
Can you spare a moment, brother? I have a question about morality.
I am sorry. I must be going.
I'll be seeing you.
I've never known you to be so fascinated with religion. Or academics, Maddie.
People change, Gracie. I didn't know about your botany thing either. You're serious that he taught you?
Yes. He even helped me write my thesis. Is something going on?
I've got to go. I enjoyed chatting. Let's do it again sometime.
Certainly. Let's. Goodbye, Maddie. What has you acting so strangely, I wonder?
Now, where did you go?
That was a warning shot, miss. You won't get another.
Do your worst, murderer. I'm ready for you.
No. Who am I to you anyway, Miss Mattie?
No, you monster. You don't deserve to learn my backstory.
Maddie, is that you?
Yes. Gracie, what do you want?
I want to know what family business requires you to wander around the green talking to trees.
Look, I don't care how close we may have been as children, but this is none of your business.
As an affluent alumnus, I donate a substantial annual sum to this university, some of which is dedicated to the upkeep of these grounds. When someone begins shooting darts, presumably poisoned, into the foliage, that makes it my business. So talk.
Gracie, please just walk away. I don't want you to get involved in this.
When one of my oldest friends returns to my city after years away, obviously mixed up in something, I'm already involved, Maddie. Allow me to help you.
Tell me everything you know about that monk friend of yours.
I'm afraid I must answer your question with a question. What is your fascination with Brother Andre?
He is not the man you think he is, Gracie. Brother Andre, Professor Maréchal, they don't exist. Those are just aliases made up years ago by a hired killer so he could hide from those seeking retribution.
You're obviously mistaken. I've known Andre Maréchal for years.
And I've been looking for him for years. Small world.
I'm afraid I can guess why. You can't be serious.
You don't know how serious. You know what line of work my father was in, pal, and why we were wards of the state at the same boarding school.
I remember.
My parents were taken away from me when I was 11 years old, poisoned by a hitman known as the Fatal Frenchie. I saw him on our estate, earlier that day. He was dressed as a gardener. We even talked, the monster and I. I've held on to that deceptively gentle face, memorized the cadence of his voice for so long. I learned his real name a few years later, Louis Gardenier. Gardner, he was playing a little joke.
Mattie!
I finally found him, Gracie, after a lifetime. I can't let him get away. I can't.
Mattie, please give me that gun.
I can't do that.
Don't do anything you'll regret. I know some people on the police force. We can talk to Sergeant
You can't
Roach.
be serious. I'm not going to rely on your Keystone cops to bring my parents' murderer to justice.
Look, Mattie, if Brother Andre really is this Gardenier person, what if he's truly changed for the better? He's devoted decades of his life to knowledge and to God. Arguably, he's paid his debt to society.
He hasn't paid his debt to me. Goodbye, Gracie Grant. I don't want to see you again.
Miss Gracie?
Yes, Fergus.
Back to the Fox Den?
Yes. Then we need to find Brother Andre. Before Mattie does.
Meanwhile, in the well-guarded penthouse of Midnight's Ventnor Plaza Hotel, crime lord Maxwell Polidori lounges in opulence and ignorance.
Yes, Mr. Fredrickson. I'd like to place my dinner order. Could you send up a stuffed pepper with linguine? And could I get a glass of skimmed milk with that? No, I won't require a dessert tonight. Thank you, Fredrickson. Can I get you a chair, Mr. Brandon? It's disconcerting you standing by the door all the time.
No, thank you, sir.
Well, don't expect me to pay for your arch supports. You have a light at least?
Certainly, sir.
It's a shame you just can't get a decent cigar in America anymore. Have you ever been to Havana, Brandon?
Can't say that I have, sir.
Costly to get a hold of one of those cigars, but at least they're still hand-rolled. Maybe I'll send one of you down there sometime. Oh, that was quick. Brandon, could you get that?
What?
What's going on here? Who the heck are you?
I am the hooded monk.
The hooded what? What the heck did you do to my guard?
This one is only the victim of fast-acting knockout poison. You, Mr. Polidori, shall not be so fortunate.
You have no idea who you're dealing with.
Maxwell Polidori, you grew up in Traverse City, developing a murderous expertise with a hammer, which made you useful to the head of the Montlo crime family. Take a seat, please. When his immediate family members were eliminated in a gang war orchestrated by you, you took his place. Your eldest son, Ambrosio, has since taken over the family and sent his old and feeble father here.
Why are you doing this?
The innocent blood has been on your hands. Surely you have anticipated this day? Lamentations 3:39. Wherefore doth a living man complain, a man for the punishment of his sins?
Why can't I move?
You have been injected with a paralytic drawn from the Chondrodendron tomentosum plant. Its effects eventually wear off, but you'll have suffocated long before that happens. Au revoir, Maxwell Polidori. May God have mercy on your soul.
And may God have mercy on yours, Louis Gardenier.
You. And now, we break for a word from our sponsor. When you're having trouble at home, don't spend hours in some stranger's office analysing your childhood memories. Call Bob's Your Uncle Relationship Counselling. Super friendly service, super fast, drop-in service right in your own home.
If you have a Barney Gaff, it's like a little chinwag, and I'll have you fixed up in a chivvy.
Yes, that's right. Drop that pricey couples counselling and call Bob's Your Uncle today. Available nights and weekends too.
Don't be a mug. If you're cheesed off, give us a bell. You'll be chuffed.
Okay then. Yes, Bob's Your Uncle Relationship Counselling. It's the best service
Don't be blinking. It's a doddle. Ring me up and get cracking service.
Are you even certified?
It might all be duff, mate. Might be a bit dodgy, but it's peanuts. So horses for courses.
Right then. You're not even trying to make sense now, are ya? Bob's Your Uncle Relationship Counselling. If nothing else, you'll be confused together. And now, we return to the top of the Ventnor Tower, where a showdown occurs between the hooded monk and the vengeful Maddie Arbogast. How did you find me?
I paid a guy to tail you. Did you think I wouldn't have a backup plan after losing you at the university? You are getting old, Frenchie. Now, hands up.
You've got to drop on me. Frankie Arbogast would have been proud of his daughter.
So you know who finally ends you, and why. Good.
I spared your life twice, Matty Arbogast. Your role has been preordained as God's will. I have accepted my fate.
I would have preferred you beg for your life, but I'm not about to split hairs now. On your knees.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be
No,
thy name.
no final prayers, brother.
Very well.
My parents will finally be avenged.
Lower your weapon, Miss Arbogast. I can take this from here.
This is no concern of yours, mystery man.
One of the guards managed to trigger an alarm. The police will be here in minutes. It's over.
No, it isn't. Not yet.
Maddie, if you do this, you become a killer. Just like him.
I'm prepared to do what needs to be done.
No!
The gloved fox lunges in front of the hooded monk. Her metal gauntlets deflects the bullet from Maddie's revolver, which hits Miss Arbogast instead.
Oh, Maddie! Just hold on. I can try to stop the bleeding. Brother Andre, don't go anywhere.
I'm afraid I cannot oblige. I am sorry for everything.
Don't let him get away.
I'm sorry, Maddie. He's already gone.
That's it then. I blew my last shot. I don't think I'm going to make it, Gracie.
What did you call me?
Gracie Grant. Who else would have put on a fox mask to chase after me? It's a lousy disguise.
We can discuss my identity later. Right now, we need to get you to a hospital.
There's no time. Just promise me you'll get him, okay?
Promise
me, Gracie.
I can promise you justice, Maddie. No more.
That'll have to do.
Maddie?
Well, Fox, the police are in the building.
Maddie!
We have to go, Miss Gracie. Roche's men won't be understanding if they find us here.
She's dead, Fergus, and it's my fault.
I cannot believe that, Mum. Now, come on. There's no time to waste.
Later, in the fox den.
Any sign of this hooded monk character?
No, Fergus. It appears that my mentor has once again successfully managed to vanish into thin air. His tour has seemingly been cancelled, and even his radio broadcasts have stopped.
That's a real shame. I was familiar with the show, and it brought a great deal of comfort to many people.
Yes, but not to the one person who desperately needed that comfort. She would never find any as long as her parents' killer went unpunished. As her friend, I could have helped her. But instead, my interference cost her her vengeance and her life.
You were just saving her from herself, Miss Gracie. It was a dark path she was on. Remember, it was Maddie Arbogast who fired that bullet, not you.
It's cold comfort, old friend. And now I must hunt one of my heroes to fulfill my promise to her.
And what will you do when you find him?
I don't know, Fergus. I don't know.
Our failures define us every bit as much as our successes. Gracie Grant has learned that one cannot serve justice wholly without consequence. Life is rarely fair, especially one lived in Midnight City. When next she dons her mask, it will feel a little heavier. She must carry that burden, however, for she is the Gloved Fox. Music appearing in this program by Kevin MacLeod, Villainous Treachery, copyright 2010, Vortex, copyright 2005, Plans in Motion, copyright 2008, The Unlight, copyright 2011. This has been a BTV Radio Theater production. The views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of Vermont Community Access Media. All the characters and places named are fictitious. Any similarity to persons living or dead is purely coincidental. The Gloved Fox returns in The Raptor's Hunt.